Hey, what's up, you guys? Hope you guys are doing amazing. I'm Nam Win. I'm your host from the Stay Lifted podcast. The goal for this is to showcase stories are, I hope, inspires you guys to be a better person, uplift you guys through negative times to positive times, and just know that you have a purpose, you have a reason you're here, and you can become better. Each day, you could work on that. So, with that being said, not a lot of people know my story and why I started the brand and why I started this podcast. And I'll start with just when I was a kid, we never really had much. We were always on welfare, Section 8 housing. We just didn't have much money. We didn't even have enough money for diapers at one point for myself and my sister. And my parents would have to get change from using $1 of EBT and eventually adding up that change to buy diapers. And fast forward, I got into fashion because I remember in elementary, my brothers, I never was that close to my brothers, I would say, because they were much older and they weren't around as much. They were working in school and whatnot. But I always looked up to them, because they're my brothers. So I always looked at their fashion specifically. Like I remember them wearing like Nikes or like white Nikes, white Adidas. I think at the time, like white K-Swisses were really popular and stuff like that. But I remember them wearing like flannels and like plaid shirts and different things like that. And a lot of my style, not a lot of people know this, but in elementary, if you look at my old photos, almost 99% of the clothing was from my brothers. And so they were baggy and I liked it a lot. And it was just my way to express myself. And I love my mom and she dressed me, but I'd rather dress myself. So at that age, I just was really into fashion. And in high school was when I really wanted to start a brand. I remember seeing people start brands and I was inspired. I was like, wow, I think I could do this too. But as they started brands, a lot of them failed. From close friends to like people I didn't know, but it didn't last long. From people that had like a team of like 4 people to just 1 person. And I was discouraged. And although I always had the idea, I never executed because I believed that I couldn't do it. I didn't have the belief in myself at that time. But I always worked on sketches throughout high school through college. And essentially when I first came up with the brand name, it was actually called Uplifted. And then it sounded kind of too repetitive to me, so I changed it to Uplift. Then eventually it became Lifted. It just sounded better and it still got the concept of why or the meaning behind the brand. And for all of you guys that have been following the brand and everything, you guys know that the brand's purpose is just to enlighten each individual to become a better person, whether it's religiously, spiritually, physically, mentally, any of those things. Working out, you're just trying to become a better person and you're trying to bring people along that journey with you and hopefully inspire others. So that's a synopsis of why I started my brand. It wasn't until my teaching job during summer where I didn't have any job. And I was supposed to work for this bead company and he was paying decent and I was really considering it. But I knew I wasn't going to be happy. I knew someone that did inspire me to start the brand. I wanted to work for him. I wanted to take photos and whatnot. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. And I decided, hey, if he could do it, I could do it. And I'm going to do it better. And that's what I've been trying to do, trying to work hard. Interestingly enough, he did reach out to me. I would say 2 months within the brand starting. Now it's been 2 years. And I remember him saying, hey, I want you on the team. I want you to do the marketing and all this stuff. I would have been completely fine with that. But unfortunately, I had my own brand. So that was my major focus. And I appreciate that he saw the value that I could provide. And hopefully I keep providing value to you guys and to the brand and to the movement and to the world. I wouldn't want to say I'm an entrepreneur, but ever since I was young, I was always selling stuff. Since we didn't have much money, I was always selling candy, selling gum, shoes, Yu-Gi-Oh cards, Pokemon cards, everything that you can name. I just sold. I even remember selling like BB clothing on eBay. So this is why I started the brand. As the podcast progresses, you guys will know more stories. I saw so many different brands, from Gucci to all these luxurious brands, and I've always wanted to start a brand that actually had meaning behind it. I didn't want a brand to just be like, hey, it's just a brand. Like, no, like when you think about Lifted, like, you want to be better. You're gonna be a better person that day. Every time I put on my shirt, I only wear Lifted clothing anyways, but every time I put on my shirt, I feel like a superhero. Like, that's how I feel every single day. I may not be the best person each day, but I know that I'm working on it every single day. And I'm always astonished and surprised and thankful for when people tell me like, hey, I wore my Lifted shirt today, or like when people message me and say like, hey, I saw someone wear a Lifted shirt today. It really does inspire me, and means a lot that you guys do wear it. And I hope that anytime that you guys do wear it, that you guys feel that inspiration to just realize that anything is possible. You can do anything. You just have to believe. And at one point I didn't believe, and now I believe. So just before we end, I want you guys to know that podcast will be every single Monday. And you guys may be wondering, why did I choose Monday? The reason why I chose Monday is because everyone usually starts their day from work on Monday, but it's also the suicidal rate is the highest on Monday. So my whole thing is that you could look forward to something on Monday, and hopefully it could suicide to actually decrease and help people with mental health. Thank you guys for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you haven't already, follow all of our social links at the Stay Lifted Podcast, at Lifted Clothing Brand, and at Swifting Nom if you want to follow my personal account. Take care, guys. Hope to see you guys soon. Stay lifted.